The first step to fabricating an ActivArmor device is to clean the print bed. This is the clear glass printing base on your Edge 3D printer. Use a cloth dampened with water or alcohol to clean the area until all glue remnants from previous prints are removed. Next is loading the filament. Filament needs to be stored in sealed bags with desiccant as to avoid humidity. Set the filament on the rack with the end of the filament coming out the bottom towards you. Feel along the edge of the filament until you find the edge of any ridged areas from a previous print and cut at a 45-degree angle. Insert the filament into the extruder until you feel it stop. Now, on the screen, you can press Load Filament. Now is gluing the bed. This step is to ensure that the print sticks to the bed and doesn't come loose during the print, while also protecting the bed. Always ensure that the bed is completely cooled before this step if you are printing back-to-back devices, as the glue will not function as intended if applied to a heated print surface. Make sure to have 2 layers of glue over any areas on the print bed that will be used. If you are following along with me, be careful to avoid brushing against the nozzle while it is hot. By now the nozzle should be fully heated, with some filament spewing from the tip. Once the notification on the screen tells you that the filament is done loading, remove what excess is pushed out and close the door to preserve heat inside the printer. Next, go to the screen and select Start Print, then change the location of the file to USB. Next, the printer will begin its automatic bed leveling program. This is to ensure that the print will stick to the bed and stay level throughout the entire print. After this, the printer will finish heating up and begin. It will do a short outline around the area of the print to clear any filament around the nozzle before beginning the print. Make sure you watch the first layer of the print to ensure the filament is pressed adequately into the bed as shown. If the nozzle is too close to the plate, the filament will have trouble extruding and the nozzle could clog. If the nozzle is too far from the plate, the print may pop off the bed, causing failure at some point during the print. You can tweak the nozzle height settings on the LCD print screen. Once complete, do not remove the device until the printer is fully cooled. Use your scraper to loosen the device from the print surface, then gently remove from the print bed and take to your working area. Separate any connected pieces and remove all support structures with the supplied needle nose pliers. This includes the raft and clip supports. If your device is a long arm, walking boot, AFO, or other, you may have more beam supports to remove. Gently pry them free with the pliers, being very careful to protect the clips. Once the device is clear of all supports, it's time to move on to filing. First, I run my fingers along the inside of the cast to find any areas where there is creasing or sharpness. Using the file, smooth any areas you believe will be uncomfortable. Be sure to thoroughly sand any areas that will experience movement, such as the perimeter of the thumb hole. Another area to keep an eye out for is the zipper. Since the printer works layer by layer, there are points in every print where the nozzle raises up to move from one layer to the next. These areas can be uncomfortable if directly against the patient's skin, but are easy to smooth with a file. Moving on to the outside of the device, not as much care is necessary to ensure that the device is completely smooth, but we still recommend filing any sharp areas, such as the angle of the bottom of the cast, to avoid catching on any loose clothing. The process of filing the front and back of both halves of the device took me about 1 minute and 30 seconds. The next step is sanding with sandpaper. Folding a small piece into fourths makes a great blend of strength and flexibility to get into all of those hard-to-reach places. Because I've already filed, this step only took about 30 seconds. The following is an optional step to remove any sanding marks and shine up the cast for the patient. Use the provided acetone dispenser to apply a moderate amount onto a clean cloth and gently rub over the surface, with your strokes following the direction of the horizontal grain. Be sure to completely cover the entire area of the cast, outside and inside, including the ulnar, thumb, elbow, and ankle holes. Always use solvents in a well-ventilated area clear of humidity. If your device is a long arm or foot, The areas that were supported will never look perfect, but they should be clear of rough spots and appear visually shiny. Overall, the entire process took me about 10 minutes. Checking in on the quality of the device, it should be shiny and smooth both inside and out, with the layer lines still clearly visible, as well as ridged if you run your nails over them. This is not rough on the patient and means that the device is strong. The next step is the application of logos to the device. Peel your brand sticker from the sheet and center it on top of the device. If it's too long to fit on one side of the seam, let it cross over to both sides. Smooth it down as best you can without wrinkles and cut over the seam with a small knife. Smooth down the sides of the seams. To fully meld the sticker onto the device, use a hairdryer and warm it for 5 to 10 seconds before pressing down with your fingers again. If your device is going to be locked on, this is the final step and it's ready for fitting. If it's going to be removable, apply the bungee closures now. If the device is a short arm, hand, or wrist device, the patient will be able to slide their hand into it without much issue, so the bungees are short but effective. Take one of the pre-cut bungees from your kit and clip off any fraying at the end if necessary. Slide the ends of the bungee into the clip slot holes, facing so that the ends are pointing the same direction as the clip, and the toggle is pressed against the flat side. Tie the ends off only once, tightly enough to hold it in place as you test the tension of the bungee. Tighten the toggle to the slot and pull the loop over so it's locked around the clip. The toggle should be able to be pressed down behind the slot and stay there without much resistance. If it doesn't, the toggle is tied either too loose or too tight. Once they've been fixed to the correct tensity, tie another knot and tighten it so that the bungee is double knotted into place. Repeat this step on the other 3 clips, then tighten them all to ensure the device doesn't shift at all when they're applied. If you find one bungee is too loose, simply undo the double knot, readjust, and tie it off again. Once the bungees are all applied and tested, clip off the long ends so everything is tucked neatly underneath the clip slots. Now make sure you still have the other items in the fitting kit and set them all aside somewhere you'll remember. Your device is ready to be fitted.
Please review the fittings and adjustments video on our YouTube channel for instructions on fitting the finished device.